Since we've been talking about indirect questions, I wanted to pull a couple indirect questions from Latin literature and just talk about them briefly and show you how indirect questions might actually work when they're in the wild, quote unquote. In real Latin, how do they work? How do we translate them? How do we approach them? So here are 3 examples. I'll start with the first one. Cum constituero utrum ei progrediar on hic eum expectem. So notice we have a nice cum clause here. Cum, this thing happens. Constituero. And then we get inside of our cum clause. See if I can get this to work here. There we go. Inside of this lovely cum clause, we get another clause with an indirect question. Notice utrum ei progrediar, whether this happens, or on utrum, whether, on, or hic eum expectem, this happens. And then this will continue on with the rest of the sentence over here. Now notice these lovely nested clauses. This is Cicero again, putting all the clauses together. So now we have to look at our clause and see what we can make of the different parts. Cum clauses can be temporal, if it's indicative, or if it's subjunctive, it can be causal, concessive, or circumstantial. So we gotta first thing decide what kind of cum clause is this. First thing we do, we come over here, see ero, and think through our different endings, and remind ourselves ero can only be first person singular, future perfect, active, indicative. So when I will have constituero, when I will have established, and once again we have established utrum, whether, introducing our indirect question. Alright, so next thing we have to decide, we're inside an indirect question, we have to see what kind of sequence are we in. Future perfect, as a reminder, is primary sequence. And what does the tense of the main verb tell us about the tense of this clause in relation to the main introductory verb out here? Well, we find primary sequence, future perfect, and here we find we have the vowels I in this one, and over here we have the vowel E, which shows us that we're in present subjunctive. Primary sequence, present subjunctive says these actions are happening at the same time. So, when I will have established, whether progrediar, watch the R ending here telling us this is first person, singular, present active, and we know it's deponent, progredior, whether I am going AE, nice little dative here, whether I'm going to him, or hic, the adverb here, or here, eum, him, expectem, I await him here. So look at this sentence again. When I will have established whether I'm going to him or I meet him here. So all Cicero is saying is I don't know if I'm going to his place or if he's coming to mine. When I will have established that, this is what's going to happen after that. So once again, you've got your interrogatives, utrum, introducing your indirect question. You check once you have the interrogative, there's no main direct question at the end of the sentence. We're in the subjunctive, and we have a verb that could introduce when I will have established, that can introduce indirect questions. Some kind of head verb. When I will have established whether I'm going to him or he is coming here, or I might await him here. Alright, the next one. Really famous line from Catullus. Quaeris quot mihi bassiationes tuae sensatis lesbia. Alright, so once again, we start at the very beginning of a sentence and we see quaeris. We have our lovely verb here. You ask, and then when that's followed by quote. Just go all the way through here. Quote is another one of our interrogative words. You're asking how many. Mihi, once again, dative form of ego, to me. We'll figure out how that fits in the sentence in a minute. Bassiationes. We've got the es ending. Bassiatio, bassiationes. Third declension. We know it's either nominative or accusative plural. tuai, if those are modifying each other, this tells us also that it's nominative plural, and then basiatio is feminine. We've got our verb inside the subjunctive here. Sint and satis is an adverb meaning sufficient. All right. Now we can start figuring out exactly what this means with Lesbia, the name of Catullus' lover, here at the end. You're asking how many basiationes tuae, we'll say of your kisses, but your kisses, of your kisses, sint satis are sufficient mihi, for me, Lesbia. And of course, as Lesbia's lover, Catullus will say, thousands and thousands and thousands more. Now, if we look at this as, analyzing the grammar, first thing we can say, quaeris, primary sequence again, sint, third person, plural, present active, subjunctive. So we know that we have, once again, primary sequence, present subjunctive. We're talking about the same time. All right, final one. Odietamo, currit faciam fortasse requiris, nescio, sed odietamo te. Alright, so odi is a fun word, and this is just a good thing to practice just from a vocabulary standpoint. Odi looks perfect, but you always just translate it like it has the present force, like it's happening now, which is why we seem to be mixing this present tense with the present tense here with perfect here. I hate and I love. Currit faciam fortasse requiris. So immediately we'd start, if we're literally translating, why id faciam. I will do this. I am doing this. We're not really sure if this is a future indicative or if this is present subjunctive, because we don't understand exactly how the subjunctive is functioning at this point in the sentence, because we haven't got to the end yet, which is one of the things that happens when you mix up word order. You play with your audience's and your listeners' expectations. Why I'm, doing this now in the future, or maybe doing this, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Fortasse, nice adverb here, perhaps, requiras. There we go, now we know, we've got this verb of asking. Perhaps you are asking, and that introduces an indirect question that is placed on the other side of the verb of asking. So we put the question first and delayed the indirect part that's supposed to introduce it till the very end, so that you can't put all the meaning together until the end. You're not quite sure what currit faciam even means. So, I hate and I love. Perhaps you ask, why id faciam I do this? Remember, M for first person singular. I do. Id, got our accusative object. Why I do this. Nescio. There's our main verb in this little clause here. I don't know. Sed odietamo te. But, and we repeat again, I hate and I love you. Right, I hate and I love. Perhaps you ask why I do this. I don't know, but I hate and I love you. Complicated feelings from our Latin lovers. Latin love poetry is rarely as romantic as, we sometimes would like to think it is. But notice how these function. Really all you're looking for is, once again, you've got your different verbs that can introduce some kind of indirect statement. You have your interrogatives. Here we have cur, here we have quot, here we have utrum and on, and then you can just use those interrogatives to guide you towards the subjunctives and identifying them. Just remember, once you've found your subjunctives, take a moment, figure out a sequence of tenses so you can figure out if this happened at the same time, prior time, or at a future time. And that's it.